for it to load. We're loaded. We're loaded. Everything is ready. So, everybody, welcome to the first round, the third round of the championship. We see here the drivers waiting on pit lane exits. They're not allowed to go for another few minutes until we say they're good to go. So we're just going to be queuing up in a conga line there. A lovely, lovely little line out of the pit lane to start the session here in Scotland. Unfortunately, we were unable to stream round 2 of the championship, but however we are back with round 3 as we see the majority of the grid just enjoying the queue, waiting for everyone to move out the way for the session to officially get started. So, everyone is here, everyone is ready, we are waiting to go. We're not green just yet. There's going to be a bit of a kerfuffle as we tick down the last couple of minutes of the session. In fact, we will just quickly go over the championship standings briefly. I should have had this pre-set up already before we started the stream, but hindsight is 2020. And of course, we are in 2025, therefore I did not have it set up already. However, here is what your current championship looks like. Our championship leader, Mr. Thomas, has led each race from pole and had the fastest lap. Last race, apparently it got really close in the midpoint. However, we've got a lot more challenges. Mr. Max in P2 is going to try make his way back up, and Chicken could make a charge after a not so great race last race out. And we go green in 3, 2, 1. Green flag. All the drivers can now make their way out the pit lane on the shortest track on the calendar. Now, it's their discretion to make their own gaps on the track. Therefore, they are entitled to get out wherever they feel they must. So the man first out on track is Mac, followed by Thomas, and then we have a kerfuffle of new drivers whose names I've not fully learnt yet. But it's fine. Here we've got Josh Zirk, Hayden Lowe just ahead of him. As well as a big issue so far is we've got a few people in the wall already. One of them being the new Swedish driver, the Aviator, Pilot John, making his debut along with a few other people along the likes of Danbo, etc, etc. We're going to have a driver joining a bit later into the qualifying due to the fact he's late downloading a few mods. But anyway, the man we're currently on board with, Mr. Gagley, man second in the championship, and I'm fully aware I'm getting his name wrong. I keep trying to get it right, I just can't. He's got an awkward surname. Temporarily sets the fastest time in the session, as he's the first man over the line. But we'll see, will he be able to get a clear run out through the fastest section of the lap? We're going to ride on board with him here. Off-board cameras we go through the flat section of the track. Balls to the wall. If he was any closer to them, I'm pretty sure his wheels would be off. So anyway, he's going to be the first man to try and get a good lap out in here. We're going to see if anything can come from this. A lot more people being able to start their laps now. I believe Jack Smart has had an issue and has reset to the pit lane, so he's down for the count for now. He's sitting in the pit lane as well. I believe the Aviator is also in the pit lane. So here we see Mr. Gagley coming through the stadium section of the track. Under the bridge we go of Glasgow. Down the dingy back alley we go. There's a look into the cockpit of the driver. He's very calm, very composed here. Technically a home race for him. As he crosses the line, he will extend his initial lead. I believe the man just behind him is his pseudo teammate. Of course, teams don't officially exist this season. He comes across the line and beats him. The man in, I believe Chicken's going to be the next man to finish a lap here. We'll see as he comes across the line. He's third in the championship, and the top 3 mirror what it's like at the top. Here's Josh Zirk making his debut in the championship across the line. There's a lot of the drivers trying to find space out on track. Jack Smart has made his own piece of real estate there. As we watch here, Mr. Danbo on his lap here. He's hoping to improve here in Scotland. No Bulgarian race as of yet for the Bulgarian driver. However, he's representing his home nation to hopefully bring some decent points to the championship and represent nations slightly to the edge of Europe. You know, we're pushing on the Eurasian border with Bulgaria there, so he'll be very happy to represent his home nation here in the UK today, along with the Aviator as well and a few other people joining in. Now, the question on my mind is, will Hayden Lowe be able to finish this weekend's race after consecutively DNFing the last two? Will it be a decent result for him? He's going flat out as he gets overtaken by the provisional pole sitter / championship leader. He's the championship leader, so he's trying to let people through. Almost collides with Max there, which could have been bad. There goes Danbo through on him. Don't know why he's stopping. Into the pit lane goes Jack Smart, as I believe we have a car relatively slow, although they were trying to get out of the way. The bottom 5 yet to set a competitive lap time, so could impeding be playing a key role in the session here as we watch Pilot there rubbing the barriers, not enjoying that section at all, as Gagli improves his lap time there. He's a 10th off his rival in the championship at the moment. Don't forget, 3 points for pole position. Those 3 points could be crucial come late season due to how close this championship could be. And at this point, technically anyone is still in the game, as we've got 5 to go, because the race hasn't technically started. After this it will be 4, as Pilot is now on a push lap. We can watch him here through the fastest section of the lap, as there's a spun car ahead of him. I believe that's Jack Smart. Pilot brushes the wall there on our side, may not have done in his version of events, but he gets perilously close to the barriers. 24 minutes to go. We've done 5 minutes of the session. Oh, I should say 6, as they got an extra minute, just about minute. They got an extra 10 seconds, I should say, but they're coming there. 7 minutes almost complete now. 6, I should say. I'm getting all my words mixed up, it's fine. On to the tightest section of the track. There is the question of, will there be overtakes being able to be done this race? There's a few key places where you could blow up an overtake. There's a lot of smoke there, and I believe we've had a spin from Pilot John, and he has reset to the pit lane. So there you go. There is a mistake from him. So we ride on board with one of our new drivers, as Chicken sets the timing table ablaze. 2/10 faster than anyone else so far. My goodness, this is going to be a close session between the top 3 in the championship. Hayden Lowe improves ahead of the driver we're riding on board with. Will we be able to see anything good come from that? Mr. Johnson. Being able so far to hopefully finish this push lap. They get 3 push to pass boosts on their laps. They can choose to rejoin to get more of them. However, it's to their own aggression as they lock up to finish their lap and brush the barrier. Will Johnson, Mr. Warrow, making his debut. Making his debut. Of course, using their full and usernames put together is a bit of a stretch. Anyway, we watch on. Chicken currently leading the way. Captain Chicken, his technically full username. As we watch a huge incident there from Will Johnson. Wiro having a huge tank slapper out of the S's section. Now damage is on, so that begs the question, could that cause a full course safety car? That's the real question here on my mind. Could a crash like that pause the session temporarily? We see everyone there just being able to continue. As you can see by our miniature driver map underneath our timing tower, everyone is just slowly making their way around as local time hits 8 o'clock in the evening. The sun is at a decent place for us, and it should stay up for the next hour, we hope. Maybe hour and a half if we're lucky. Zerk making P4 his home right now. Top 4 currently separated by just under a second, so this could be the closest gap we've seen all season. Oh, and that was close, and I think there is contact there. Both off. Hayden low involved. Zerk as well as Pilot John. Those two definitely had a huge hit together there going down the S's section. There's a thing we highlighted to start the session that you don't go slow there, so maybe there was just a slight miscommunication between those guys that caused that monumentous incident there. We see them just coming off to the side of the track to hopefully pull into the pit lane and keep out everyone's way. But that is not really something you want to be seeing at this track, especially with the high speeds of this section of it. Taking a second just for a breather there, as we wait to see if Pilot, Mr. Aviator is my nickname for him. I've known him for many a year in and out of racing stuff, so I think it's fitting that someone called Pilot John has the nickname the Aviator. Who knows, it could bring him some luck. Could we see him finishing in the top 5 here today? I have a feeling that would be a decent result for him if he finished up there in the top 5. Who knows what could happen this race, however. It is a big task seeing where these guys could and could not finish. Because who knows, something could go badly in the middle of the race that completely switches everything up. As Jack Smart just gets his first lap time in there, 3 minutes, 2 minutes off the overall pace. So unfortunate for him so far to be able to only set his first lap now. But Pilot now has a decent gap ahead of him. There is no one on the straight ahead of him here, so he does have clean air. If he's using push to pass, I don't think we'll know. But what we do know is he's surely trying, as we see him slide through that corner there. In the meantime, Zerk improves his lap time by 100th of a second. Maybe even 1,000th. But we see Pilot here coming through the more tricky stadium section of the lap. We go around the stadium, pretty similar to how F1 goes around the Las Vegas Sphere, with a somewhat chicane followed by a curve, and he's slightly wide on the grass. That could have cost him, but it does mean he can swing it around for the overall better line. Now the question is, will this lap be able to put him anywhere higher than the current 5 seconds off he is? He's got the straight to go. He crosses the line. He does improve. Is he out of the 5s? Who knows? As Jack Smart moves up to P5, demoting Pilot almost to where he was, in fact, where he was before. So where was that lap from Jack Smart hiding all session long, as Pilot is brushing all the walls and has had a huge hit nose in to the barriers there. Again, not really a thing you want to be seeing, but the stuff you get seeing. And in speaking about him, there's Jack Smart in the barrier. This section really causing issues for a lot of the drivers on the track. But anyway, we see him here, Mr. Zerk, I should say. There's no ch sound on it. Some names are pretty funny. We just, as I'm having a moment here. My apologies, I was calling Danbo Pilot and getting Pilot confused with someone else. Everyone's got different usernames, it's what I'm used to. I'm pretty sure you guys are just trying to get used to everyone here as well, so we're all in the same boat together. Anyway, it's currently Danbo, P7, not Pilot. Pilot is just behind him. as we watch Zerk trying to improve his time. Currently the top 6 separated by 1.5 seconds, which I believe is the closest we've had a top 6 all season. As we've gained another driver here. So we'll be able to see if they're going to be able to do anything. Please do ignore the fact it says shoe at the bottom. It will not say that for much longer. That is just there while the next driver starts the session officially. Do bear with us. But as we can see, Chicken currently could steal the 100% pole record away from Thomas here this weekend. That would be something. That could be a break in the norm for the league so far. There is word as well of a new track joining the calendar next season in the form of the Red Bull Ring using the MotoGP chicane. Whether that happens or not, we're yet to see. But if it does so happen, then so be it. As I'm pretty sure quite a few people would want to see that happen in this league. As I'm sure you viewers at home would also like to see how that fares in the grand scheme of things. Here is Danbo getting everyone confused. I'm not getting him confused anymore. Danbo coming out of the pit lane here. Down the back section we go. The fastest section on the track. We watch here, taking it very tentatively, just getting a bit more used to how the flow works on the track. You know, how the car reacts to the different bumps on the surface of the track as he hits the wall quite heavily there. Something tells me that will be a brief jump back to the pit lane, which I'm right in saying it will be. As Rensel is on an outlap and he's stopped and he's crashed. So he's abandoned it back to the pit lane. But if I were him, I would definitely try to get out there and try to set laps as much as I humanly can. As he's got under half the session to go, so it really is against him at the moment here. Currently the time not looking the best for him as we ride on board with the nose cone and we see the championship leader gets overtaken out the pit lane by the rookie here. Rensel, Mr. Zigzag, just trying to become accompanied to the track. Don't believe he's put in much practice, but we'll be able to see what he can muster up as we see where his hot lap goes. As Danbo has changed his nickname, as Zerk takes the fastest lap by 0.02 of a second from Chicken. The rookie coming in and absolutely lighting the timing sheets alive. I've completely missed that, unfortunately there, but that has completely changed the complexity of the championship as Chicken then goes 0.3 faster than the rookie. So there is now the man in third place being overtaken by both a rookie and one of his main championship title rivals. So far this session with 12 minutes to go, can he pull out the lap of laps at the very end is the question on his mind. And I think Renzo has just reset to the pit lane again after another incident. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to see in a second. So we're going to wait for him to see if he can set a lap in this session or not. If he doesn't, then he will be starting at the back of the back. He's coming out again here. With pseudo teammate being Chicken, so no pressure on him, but his teammate is carrying the same colours as him. So we'll see. Will he be able to at least set a lap on the boards as Wiro goes P5 ahead of Jack Smart, sorry. Jack Smart. If I could tell Renzo one thing, I'd say just do a real slow lap, get used to it, and then try ring it out in the final one to avoid mistakes like that. You could not have timed that any better than me commenting on it right there. So, absolutely amazing that. Anyway, we go quiet for a second just so the drivers can take a second to acclimatise as Pilot John has rejoined the session. The Swede, the flying Swede, the mad Swede, rejoining. Pretty sure that is just to get back the push to pass. So we watch another crash from the rookie with minimal practice. A lot of people choosing to put a bit less practice into this weekend as it's not exactly their favourite track on the calendar here. So, the question is, how will the next few rounds of the championship fare out? As we see in the chat there, I shouldn't really be commenting on this, but in the chat we have one of the drivers on the track saying, "Come on, myself." No, he's cheering himself on, I should say. Pause. Anyway, we see someone slucking a lollipop at the same time as I say that, just to throw salt into the wound. As Max improves slightly closer to the championship leader, him second in the championship, but could Chicken claim an early, crucial 3 points so far this session? If he claims those 3 points, that would put him a lot closer to Max Gagley. As I need to get the championship up on my phone, which I hadn't done prior, which I should have done. So if Chicken were to gain 3 points, he would enter this race 1 point behind the man in fourth. As we enter 10 minutes to go of the session here. So the final 10 minutes, we've already completed 20 minutes of qualifying so far, and it's to the drivers' discretion if they want to, finish their laps, or they think their laps are good enough so far. And if I was in Chicken's camp, I would sit there and, say it's fine. But anyway, here we see Mr. Axel Rensel on his push lap here. The first push lap from this driver. Taking the flat out section a bit more tentative than others. Slight wobble there as we come through the fast right, fast left. He now has a lap on the board, making it officially 10 drivers entering the third round of the season. More than the last two races together. Not together, but more than the last two races. He gets a bit crossed up on himself. He's just going to try get a lap faster than 5:17 on the board. Having small snaps and corrections everywhere. As Zerk goes even faster than Chicken. Zerk making his way even further ahead. The fans are going to love that. A rookie pole position could be crucial in his early championship game. He's ridiculously fast. He's 0.08 faster than Chicken's previous lap. As Wiro goes to third fastest, as we see him almost take out Rental as he finishes their laps. They both finish together. He's 0.5 off. This could be a bit of bad news for our championship top two. So far this session, it's not looking too good. As we've got rookies coming out of nowhere and setting monumentous times. This could be the race that determines the championship for a few drivers, I feel, here. Especially going into the next couple of seasons. That would be something. Here we watch Chicken. There's a lot of drivers here that I need to get used to. Chicken has started his push lap with just over 7 minutes to go. Will we see here a possible pole for Captain Chicken. Here we go into the middle sector of the lap. I believe this is roughly where it starts. So we're well into the middle sector of the lap, I should say. Coming towards the final sector of the lap is what I should have said. Or really, we should be coming to soon. We've got this giant hairpin loop to go. Into the final sector. Round we go. The stadium section. Around the edge of the stadium, into the sharp left-hander, onto the dodgy back alley of the circuit. Circuit made wider by the local government just to cater Chicken. Through the final chicane we go. Into the final corner of the lap. Will it be any sort of improvement on the overall time? Yes, it will! Chicken improves the pole, and we could very well see a 1:08 for the pole time here. As we see the championship leader currently a second off of the pole time. Things could be getting nip and tuck up at the front end of the field, especially when it comes to the fastest man so far this season. And then again, it will come to what happens in the race. Chicken 3/10 faster than Zerk, who's been setting monstrous lap times in his debut session. Wiro on the podium last time out, so don't count him out for another possible podium. Scored a third place, number 367. That's what he's racing under this season for the fun of it. As we see him catching a bit of the rear there. Going around this chicane, around the stadium. Told you it was like Vegas. This is Zerch as we enter 5 to go. 5 minutes left of the half an hour of qualifying. Chicken darts to the pit lane. The man in third finished third last weekend. Do not count him out of a possible podium this weekend. But I feel the top 5 is going to be the busiest top 5 we've seen this season. And especially with the size of the track, we could see people getting lapped here. So that would be a sight to see if lapped cars were to come into play, especially if it was a teammate or pseudo-teammate or assistant of someone more present and prevalent higher up in the field. That would be a sight. The man in second being trailed by the man in first so far. Through the middle sector we go. The first and final sector, the longer of the two, the middle one being technically the shortest, yet the most technical. Into the chicane we go, through, around the stadium. 36 laps await us here at Carlisle. Here in Glasgow. There was a huge mistake there from Zerk. Not surprised that he's backed off of that one, to be honest with you. 3 minutes to go. Will Chicken be able to take his maiden pole in the championship as there is Jack Smart in the runoff? Can Chicken solidify this position, or will we see the man in fourth steal another pole position? Here we see the man in fourth, the championship leader. So far, he is over 15 points clear of the man in second place. So if he does start here, next to his rival, we could see a bit of carnage into the first corner of the lap. Being that sharp 90-degree left-hander into a curving left. The man in third improves his lap time by 48,000 hundredths. 4 hundredths of a second improvement there for the man in P3. But I believe the man we're watching here, the man of P4, Thomas, could win here today, which would be something. He would, I think this would be his worst starting position on the grid ever, as the man in second improves as well to just under 3/10 from Chicken. But Chicken is looking in a prime position here to do very well at this circuit. But here is possibly the lap of laps, and it is the lap of laps, and we are into the 108s for the championship leader. He goes a 10th faster than Chicken. Almost 2 tenths, as we see Chicken having a huge moment there and hitting the wall. And I believe that could be Chicken out for the remainder of the session. He's going to try one more push lap. We now ride on board with Zerk. He is midway through in the final sector of a push lap here now. Could we see a 3rd consecutive pole for the championship leader here as a part of the 2nd race in the British Isles before we hop the pond over to Monaco? Max Gagley could also be in a bad position, having to overtake several people, as we see the man in 3rd stay 3rd for now. Now the question is, will Chicken be able to make it to the line as we catch him spinning? Chicken brushes the wall. He knows the significance in trying to get around for another lap. He's by this stadium. He will have enough time to get to the flag to do another lap. Maybe he'll be able to pull one out of the bag. If I was a P1 right now, I'd sit in the pit lane. There's no way anyone's getting that lap time beat. I would think, at least. Because either way, I believe it would be a front row start regardless. And who knows. Anyway, Chicken has the final chicane to do. We're riding just on board with him. The man in 4th improves his time yet again. Not enough to go to P3 so far. He's going to have one last push lap. Chicken across the line now on his final push lap. And if we see any more improvements, I'm sure we'll know about it very, very soon. It's all come to a head here. The last 30 minutes of qualifying coming to an official end in 3, 2, 1. Pilot improves his time just as the timer switches, so he's on his last push lap. But the man who will be finishing his lap out of everyone on the field is going to be the current pole sitter and the championship leader. Provisional pole. Will the pole be his, is the question. He takes it to the pit lane. Chicken is coming round the stadium now. The man in 4th is going to try and improve. Will he be able to make it further ahead than he currently is the real question here. As I get my tongue slightly twisted across the line, he improves to 3rd. Wiro makes it to P3. What can Chicken do, however? Chicken to the line. Doesn't improve. What can Gagley do? He's behind Hayden Lowe, the man who's DNF'd the last 2 races. Will there be any improvement with the slipstream from Max across the line? No, there won't be. I believe Thomas has secured, and he's secured a 3rd consecutive pole position in the championship. 3 for 3 for the Flying Dutchman so far. And my, oh my, what an end to the session that was. That was really entertaining here up in the booth. I don't know how entertaining that was at home for you, the viewers, but my, oh my, that was amazing. Gagley complaining about 6 different times he was impeded in his hot lap. So we might see something come ahead later on. It's fixed setups, by the way, for all of you viewers at home and the drivers who are joining us here for the first time. Yes, do bear with us temporarily because the grid currently is a bit broken. As we wait for 33 seconds for the drivers just to gain composure, let themselves calm slightly before we start the race. Also, please do ignore the temporary issue with the timing tower. That will be fixed just after turn 1, I assure you. This will fix itself. The moment those lights go out, we will have a temporary pause midway through just so a car can get teleported back to the pit lane. But that will mean the lights are on for the third time in the season. And it's go, 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 go. Here in Scotland, Chicken temporarily takes the lead and he's crowded out. And there's all sorts of mishaps going on in the middle of the pack. Everyone's still grouped together, but Chicken has the lead. Gagley upper place as well. At the back of the grid is Hayden Lowe and Renzo and Zerk. They've all had an issue together, meaning yellow's in turn one. Everyone at the top of the field, however, is going cleanly. Max Gagley looks down the inside of Wiro as we see a move for the lead. Chicken gets overtaken by the championship leader, and there's more fights going on further back as we see all sorts of mayhem towards the back of the field. Please do ignore those disconnection sounds. They're an issue I'm having with a different component that isn't any regard to the race, as there's an issue there, and it's Wiro who's falling down the field after a spin, and he's being overtaken by Zerk. Zerk on the who is making a brilliant start to the season for him. But as we see here, Chicken still holds the lead at the end of the round, lap one, and he has a moment tapping the back there, or getting tapped on the back there by the championship leader, excuse me. The whole field spread quite far out. I assume if there was another incident, there would be a virtual safety car just to regroup the field, or a full course yellow, just to regroup the field. But we see it here. Could Chicken be at risk of getting overtaken by the man in the lead of the championship, and the man who stole 3 points from him? And there's an attempt. Gagley's now in this fight. He's joined in. He technically has the lead of the race. He does have the lead of the race. Gagley moving through. Chicken forcing his way through this contact. Thomas losing the rear. They're almost three abreast. And I think Gagley's trying to force his way through. And the champion leader gets hit and loses two. Almost 3 places there. Chicken keeps the lead. I'm sure tensions are high. Hayden Lowe in the pit lane again early on in a race. Not quite sure what his issue could be, whether it's to change tyres. He's out again. I think that was a strategic pit stop as Gagley to the inside of Chicken into the final chicane. It was close, and he's going to try again out of it, and he's into the lead. A third race leader so far. As we see further back in the field in the clean air, as we see a spin from Pilot there on the main straight, as Gagley retakes the lead. Jack Smart has taken the fastest lap, and Chicken loses 2 places on the flat out S's. This is monumentous stuff so far in the championship. Oh, and Gaggles has got it all switched. He's lost 2 places, similar to Chicken, corners before. And Thomas is back in the lead, but Gaggles is trying around the outside. I don't think we've ever seen an attempt like that, but it could have paid off, and it has paid off. Gaggles retakes the position as Danbo's had a moment, and I believe he's been hit, and he's in the wall. There we see Danbo after a moment being spun into the wall. But so far, Gagley making a huge mistake, and Chicken gets back through, and Jack Smarts is there to go 3 wide on the back straight. I'm surprised they've gone through without contact. I think Smart just clipped the curb. He's got out okay, though, but they're all still there. The top 3, these 3 fighting like it's for the win. It's for second. It's amazing, this fight. They continue along. My, oh my, this is a great battle. Hayden Lowe being counted as 1 lap down. I'm not quite sure that's accurate at the moment, although he is quite close as we catch another spin from the Swede coming out of the chicane. But the fight for second is as close as ever. I do believe they are all quite close to each other, or at least Jack Smart is to Captain Chicken. This has been an amazing opening few laps of the season. A lot of people doubted the ability of raceability here, including myself. I thought it was too narrow of a track, as we see Hayden Lowe getting lapped early on in this race. Of course, on the full course yellows, it will act as a safety car, meaning Hayden Lowe will be able to unlap himself eventually if there is a big enough incident to warrant an issue like this, like a temporary track blockage or a huge moment, as Jack Smart and Chicken are just losing gaps to each other here. Everyone now getting into a relatively fine rhythm. No one exactly pushing. Now, I think here's where Lyco, lift and coasting, is coming into play before the pit strategy. So I think a few people are just running it low to stay out a bit longer than other people. As Chicken and Jack Smart are trying here to jostle for position. Chicken brushing the barrier heavily, losing a place to Jack Smart. I think there was a very strategic play there from him. Going through the stadium chicane now into the curve. Brilliant thing. Not quite sure why Hayden Lowe is classified as 2 laps down, but I'm sure that issue will eventually fix itself when it gets to being fixed, as he's going to have to let everyone through for now, as our race leader sets a new fastest lap of the session. Chicken now trying to hunt down Mr. Smart, who's ahead of him, just to try and see if he can regain another podium position in this championship. As we know, he didn't fare too well last race, finished last of all the finishes after that event had finished. But hopefully he'll be able to do something here, as Zerk has lost a place there to Wiro on the podium last weekend versus a rookie who has a lot of potential here this weekend of racing. So who knows what could come out of this. I say weekend, I mean weekday of racing. It's the evening of a very nice evening. Oh, I thought someone was getting lapped there. That is my fault. But we see here, Chicken a dive bomb down the inside. That's not going to pay off too well. Just giving the position back there because I think he knew that that was a very dirty maneuver to try and pull through there. I think Gagley has just backed off a bit. And I'm pretty sure our race leader as well could back off as well, because he's got a near 10-second gap now to the rest of the field. I'd be surprised if he is going full push. As we see Chicken spinning behind. Chicken loses out. Wiro, upper place. Zerk, upper place. That is a bad moment for Chicken early on in this E-Prix. We're nearly 10 laps done, and that is not a moment you want, and that has helped Wiro catch up to the back of Jack Smart. Debuting this weekend, a rookie versus a podium sitter. So will there be a switch in position through here? Who knows? Chicken, the man third in the championship, is slightly a risk to Will here. If he gets another podium, it will be 28 points for Mr. Will Johnson at Wiro. And if Chicken only scores 6, that'll be 8 more points. So he's going to lose out to the top 2 in the championship massively here, if this were to happen. And he could be at the risk of the man behind him, as I'm guaranteed Hayden Lowe will eventually finish here. I believe there's an issue with pitting. I think Hayden Lowe is teleporting back to the pit lane, which is causing these lapping issues, as Renzo has had a monumentous moment as he gets lapped through the chicane at the start of the lap. Collectively so far, the drivers in the championship have scored. As the leader spins! I've missed that! Our race leader has spun out and is now under risk from a rookie in this race. I did not see that coming, quite literally, as we see Renzo spinning, and it's caused another crash. Jack Smart getting involved. Yellow's out through there temporarily, but Max Gagley makes it an official third race leader, and I'm pretty sure this is something like the 7th overtake for the lead of the race. So absolute mayhem here on the last 2 laps, causing pandemonium as we see a near tank slapper moment for Mr. Hayden Lowe is going really slow through one of the chicanes. As he's pitted, the championship leader darts into the pit lane. Unfortunately, due to the position of the cameras, we're unable to see what these pit stops look like. If there is a pitting issue, I'm sure it will fix itself eventually if they are lapped coming out of the pit lane. Which they are. That will fix itself when the other leaders come into pit. So an unforeseen glitch in the race so far, which no one accounted for, will... As we've had a disconnection in this race, which is a shame. So when they rejoin, they will be last of the runners. So when the race leaders and everyone else come into the pit lane, they will lap themselves, therefore, effectively putting Rensell in an effective P2. Of course, when those people come out of the pit lane, they will, I'm sure, fall ahead of him. So, as Zerk, in fact, here there is the disconnected pilot who will, I believe, be DNF'd. Just waiting on a response from him as we see these two close as ever. So, Jack Smart hits the wall as Will Johnson pushes behind him. These two having a great battle with each other so far this race. Can they continue it on and play a pit game? We know at the moment you can do 13 high full push laps on the high electro mode so far. We know that you can do 13 push laps on the high in this race so far, and testing at least, that's what we've been able to do. So whoever pits the outside or inside the top group will be able to see what happens there. Hayden Lowe still in the running. Pilot is out the race as there is a spin nearly for Jack Smart. Will is going to try and push up on this. Through the flat section we go. These guys just trying to gain a bit towards Max Gagley. And there is Hayden Lowe in between these two. They might have to get out the way. If there is a VSC, that would mean Hayden Lowe could unlap 2 laps in the time it would take for the VSC to end. He's going to need to get out the way of this fight, or else it could spell disaster, in which he hits the wall, just slowing down, I believe, as he forces the man in third just to give partially a bit of space to the car ahead. So far this race is becoming one for the notebooks. Not the history books just yet, but one for the notebooks. Danbo. Oh, as we see a spin from Rensell. Really not what he would have wanted in this race. Not going the way of the rookie so far. Hayden Lowe front row seats to this battle ahead of him. I'd be in a good mood if I was watching this fight ahead, so you know. Let's see what's going to happen here with these two drivers. The pit cycle, those running on high, as we see a mistake from the driver known as Dottie, Mr. Jack Smart, making a huge mistake, just slamming the door in the face of the car we're riding on board with here, Mr. Will Johnson. Unfortunate there that he got his face slammed into by a car, but he's still going, so it will be fine so far, as he makes another mistake and he's going to go around the outside. Will trying around the outside. I believe Gaglia is going to be the one who's going to trigger everyone to pit. So we'll see what happens here. Staying out, continuing to stay out. Zerk. Oh, as he gets through. Jack Smart trying to just make his way through. And I believe the pit strategy is working out for the race leader. The championship leader, I should say, as he's came across the line as these two were fighting into the second corner of the lap. I'm pretty sure there'll be strong words spoken between everyone, but I think one of the words will be, I don't believe we're going to race here again for the next season we have here. Just due to that pitting issue that puts people a lap down. But the man who is in control of the lead is going to be the one who makes the move, as there's another mistake for Jack Smart going through the stadium section. So I wonder how this will play out. And those on a full pelt mode will be just out of energy now. So we could see Gagley coming into the pit lane. We're trying to see. He's not coming in, so he's not on full pelt mode. But these guys could be trying to play a game to try and just eke each other out for points. Or even a P2. That's something substantial. And we see it here. The man in fourth being overtaken by the championship leader. So they might as well pit because they have nothing to lose in this fight. They've already been overtaken by the leader. So their views of trying to stay ahead of him are pretty slim at the moment. I'd suggest those further in the lead take their chance to pit now while they still can. Due to the fact that our race leader, or our championship leader I should say, is playing a master strategy here. This fight continues. They're 5 seconds off the leader of Gagley. Will he pit? Not yet. No one choosing that pit lane at the moment. Who knows? We would need to see a moment, and there is a moment. Jack Smart into the barrier as he gets almost overtaken by the championship leader. That is a huge moment that has just cost both of them, I feel, 5-ish seconds. I want to get a replay of that. There was contact even. My fault there. Chicken. Not involved, but the man in third, now second, was taken out. And he gives the place to Chicken and collides with the side of the race, of the championship leader. So if I were Gagley, I would take this opportunity to use the pit lane. Thomas trying to get through. Smart playing the ultimate game here of trying to hold him up. He's got the better line. He's going to dive bomb him. This fight really helping Gaggables now. If I were him, I would storm this lap to try and pit next lap. And I think we're going to ride on board with Zurch, because he's got the best view of this. They're being forced to the very extremities of the racing lines. This battle monument is an occasion, and they're back through. They're not letting him through. No one wants to let the lapped championship leader through. He's only lapped because of a timing error, but he is well and truly in the net lead of the race. This fight greatly helping our race leader, so if I were him, I would take the hint and slam into the pit lane for a very cheeky stop, because this gap will dwindle as we watch Jack Smart slam into the wall of the pit lane. Chicken into the pit lane now. So he will definitely come out as lapped officially. All sorts of mayhem going on so far as he finally gets through. If I were the race leader, I would definitely try and take this pit, and there may have been contact. One driver not coming out lapped, which is surprising in the pit cycles. Gagley staying out. So I believe there may have to be a countback due to pitting as Smart comes into the pit lane. Stops on his marks. Is it a good stop? I don't know. We'll see here in a second. He's been pushed down as lapped, so I don't quite know what is causing this lapping issues. But there are issues causing drivers to become lapped in this race. So if this does affect the overall outcome, then I don't quite know what happens there. Smart still in the pit lane, not quite sure why he's being held for so long. But he is definitely struggling this lap, and he's been overtaken by Chicken. So who knows what could happen this race. Danbo currently running third for the rookie. Gagley leading the way still. Where is the man who can unlap? Will try to unlap. He is coming through the main straight now, so if I were Gagley, I would definitely come into the pit lane soon. And we may have, once everyone has come through the pit cycle, we may have to call a full virtual safety car where the race leader has to slow down to let everyone on lap due to this pitting issue. That would be called after everyone has made at least a pit stop. So the top 3 yet to pit. That would mean they need to pit sometime soon before that gets called. Here we watch on board with Gagley still choosing to stay out, which makes trying to call a virtual safety car a lot more annoying. I'm pretty sure there'll be some deliberation after the race whether or not we actually use this race again, or whether or not we even count the results from this race due to the known issues of the lapping, which we didn't know about before. We see Gagley yet to pit. He needs to soon, definitely. He's going to run out of energy otherwise. Like, you can't make the 4 race distances just on Lyco. So as he chooses to come into the pit lane now, Zerk, the man in second, the rookie in second. He's probably gonna join Gagley into the pit lane here. I wouldn't be surprised if he does, which he does do. And I think the timing tower having a moment there. So when Danbo comes into the pit lane, or he get it confirmed to me that he's pitted, we will call a virtual safety car. We've got confirms Renzo is stopping to retire. So he is out. As we will go virtual safety car when the leader enters lap 20. Virtual safety car when the leader enters lap 20. That will mean the leader slows down and then everyone catches up to the back of him, please. If you are lapped, you can overtake straight through. Thank you. So when the leader crosses the start-finish line, he will slow down to gear 2 or a slow pace of 80 k's. 60 miles per hour, please, race leader. 60 miles an hour. Virtual safety car enabled. Those of you who are lapped need to unlap. Virtual safety car. Virtual safety car. Unfortunately, I can't actually enforce that, so he's going to have to slow down. The man in first will have to slow. as he finally gets the message. So Danbo, you would follow up to the back. Gagly, everyone below P6 would unlap. Everyone catch up to the race leader, please. Everyone catch up to the race leader. Jack, Smart, overtake. Jack, Smart, overtake. Danbo, catch up. Gagly, catch up. And Chicken, catch up. Renzo is out of the race, so our race leader is holding the way. Danbo, do not overtake, thank you. He's choosing the pit lane, which may cause more issue. But we are under virtual safety car due to this lapping error that we're having in this race. So he will stay at that pace. Everyone else catch up to the leader, please. Everyone catch to the leader. Yeah, if you are lapped, if you are classified as lapped, overtake. So Chicken, do not unlap. Zerk, do not unlap. Smart, do not unlap. And Thomas, do not unlap. Race leader, stay at that pace, please. Thank you. We're going to wait till everyone is regrouped before we start proper pushing again. Don't know why Smart has overtaken Zerk. They will have to trade positions back. Thank you. Zerk, full pelt, please, to the safety car group. It is like a full safety car. I'll call it end once everyone is fully regrouped, and I see them fully regrouped. So Hayden Lowe will need to do a bit of a job. He will finish, hopefully. No idea why we have this pitting issue. So Chicken will catch the race leader here. The whole field really, really separated, annoyingly, when we call this virtual safety car. Chicken is on the back of the group now, so he will start slowing up for it. Then it'll be Zerk and Smart. Hayden Lowe overtake the safety car so you can be unlapped at least one lap. Yeah, this will be a lengthy virtual safety car so we can get everyone at least in the same group. Luckily, almost the whole field are back. We'll let Jacob Lowe do one last push lap to get around. Yeah, do not overtake each other if you're lapped. The leaders are through here. Everyone be careful. The leaders are on the flat out section. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Hayden Lowe, overtake and do one more push lap, please. Then we'll get Danbo, and then when Hayden Lowe... Never mind. You've just... Oh no, man. Yeah, Hayden Lowe, one lap around, please. So he's going to do one last lap. We're going to wait for Danbo to get on the field. And when Hayden Lowe comes around, hopefully we should be able to fully restart by the end of lap 23, which is something very nice. Here we watch Danbo just coming up closer to the field. So yeah, in the final sector of the next lap around, the leader will be able to control the pace and go when they like, as that will be how the safety car works. So the pseudo safety car will be in next lap, and then from the final sector line, the race leader gets to choose where about they come in. There's a look at the full names of all the surname drivers who are in this race so far. These two have DNF'd. Hayden Lowe should be able to finish ahead of where he is at the back. He should be at least able to finish this. If not, then oh well, 3 for 3 for DNFs. As we watch Gagley here, will he be able to muster anything on this safety car restart? We've got one sector before the race leader chooses when to go. Hopefully it won't cause any more issues towards the end of this race, and hopefully no one should need to pit due to this safety car before the end of this race. So as I take a quick second to boost my energy levels back up. Oh, as our safety car leader makes a mistake. So anywhere from now, he can make the call to go, to pull the plug on the end of the safety car. So his aggression will determine it. I wouldn't go here due to the straight, because then you'd run a huge risk of them being overtaken. Which, in fact, I think he does. He chooses to go on the straight. He's gone. We are back under green flag racing. Of course, you are only allowed to overtake after the start-finish line. So that means anytime now you can overtake, and Gagley is going to try and move into turn 1, and Chicken has tried it, and he's crashed. He's tapped the leader, and he's down to the back of the group. Zurch fighting with Mr. Smith. Our race leaders trying to go side by side. You can't do that through there, Gagley. You can't do that through there, son. I'm pretty sure that was the closest we've ever gotten, but he's diving to the inside line. He's trying it. Will the switchback happen? We can't see him. Gagley's temporarily through. It's a left-hander, and he's fully through. And there's someone in the wall. It's Danbo. Danbo on the back of that restart is off. Oh, no, and Zurch, he's backwards. That is a terrible place to be. Luckily, the track is clear, so he's going to fall to the very bottom. Unfortunate luck for most of the rookies and Chicken on that opening lap, but that has helped our championship leader possibly get back up into the fight to get onto the podium. But Chicken is right there. He knows if the championship leader has an abysmal race, that will massively help him. Speaking of the championship leader, he's making a move on Jack Smart, and Smart's on the inside. Are they going to make it through? He does. He makes the podium places again. Despite the pitting lapping him, he's made it back through. Amazing stuff so far. There's the fight for third. Chicken just catching a bit of airtime, and if anything, second is slowly becoming the fight for second here. I believe we just had a small moment that we missed from Thomas, who is ahead in third for now. We've got just over 12 laps to go, or just under 12 laps to go, I should say. Just over 11 to go of this race. So, thrilling throughout in even the first virtual safety car, as Danbo's had another moment there, and his teammates right with him. Pseudo teammate, I should say. I need to keep reiterating this. They're not real teammates. Anyway, Wiro versus the championship leader. And the question is, can he hold off for Gagley to possibly claim his first win in the championship? And of course, if they pit, it will be too late to cause a virtual safety car. So they will have to try and fight their way through the field. And it's close. You can't really overtake through here, so he sticks it behind. Probably going to try line up a move into the braking zone of the next corner, which he's trying to do, unable to. So Will just putting the car brilliantly in the right place. He's left the door open. It's going to be close. He's trying around the outside. He's not going to be able to defend that very well due to the line. He's through. Does he lose a place to Jack Smart is the question. Not at the moment. The safety car leader has lost 2 places in the 2 immediate laps. Make that 3 in the 2 immediate laps. Jack Smart just getting through off the screen. Unfortunately, the camera work at this track is not the best, so we're unable to see it. So anyway, Max Gagley, 5 seconds. Will that hold in the coming laps? And can he defend? I've seen this man driving an F124, slightly different game. But even so, his valiant fights can really hold up a good defense job. And he's already down 5/10 of a gap. So... oh, and there's a huge airborne moment there for Jack Smart. Unfortunately, we missed it. I'm sure we'll get a replay at some point soon of that. Oh, and the P2 man has had a moment as well. So those two have had 2 separate incidents that have led to Chicken getting back up into the podium places. And maybe Gagley is in a really good position to claim his first win in the championship. One of the few people who's been able to attend all 3 races this season. Hayden Lowe in the pit lane again. Not quite sure as to the reason this time. It could be a scheduled stop, but he's already a few laps down at the moment, and it's only going to be worse for him. The bottom 2 are out. He's come out. He is still going, but it's not the best for him as Danbo has retired on the track. Is he out? Is the question. Is he going to rejoin? Or is it going to be another DNF for the 2 teammates here today, or pseudo teammates, mates in person? As we see the man who led the safety car hit the wall. As Chicken hits the wall. Everyone making small mistakes here as the race gets on. 7 seconds now between Gagley and P2. This fight is going to be an eager one. Who, if anything, can stop Chicken? It is a DNF for Danbo, so he is confirmed not making the end of the race. So Danbo confirms he is out. 3 DNFs in the first round. Pilot, Rensel, and Danbo. 3 rookies making their debuts in the championship. Not really much to comment on here as all the drivers come through the S's, but if anything, Chicken's gap is dwindling, so could there be a risk of him being overtaken soon? Who knows what can happen in the last few laps of this race. Lap 30 of 36, 7 to go of the race. Gagley in the lead. A lap to come between them as there is a moment from Chicken. Darts out the way after having a huge snap. These two now fighting through the first and second corners onto the back straight of S's. And the not so straight back straight is going to generate some brilliant moments here, I feel. Will we be able to see Chicken get back ahead, or will we be able to see Chicken here defending from quite possibly the most important championship rival of his? He defends the inside line. Will it be enough for him to hold off the car behind through another lap? These areas, key overtaking zones. He does the dummy. Will it be sold? Will he be able to get back through? He's trying to get back through. I'm sure they just touched. The four-wheel drive system's being able to play brilliantly into this. And the question is, does Chicken have any push-to-passes left? Does anyone have any push-to-passes left? Because if I was Chicken, I would be trying to use that as soon as I could. So, Wiro currently in the good podium places to as we see him slowly escaping up the road. Chicken losing a few tenths to the car ahead. He could be at risk of the car behind as well. Most of the field now, as a lapped car, is going to come into play with this at the front end very, very shortly. If anything, he is coming into play now. He's in the mid-pack here. He's between Chicken and P2. So, P3. So, who knows what this mayhem could bring as we see a mistake there from the man in P2. And there's more contact, and that is two cars backwards, and we've got a double yellow. That very nearly was a full course yellow. 6 laps to go, and the championship leader is in second, and there is a car in the wall. So, I have a feeling if there's one more major issue, we could get a full course caution. Not a safety car, though, not a virtual. Gagley is still 8 seconds up in the lead. The gap will dwindle, start to dwindle. 5 to go. Official confirmation of 5 to go. Will we be able to see any form of fight coming out of this? We could see a fight for a debut podium for these two drivers. That would be a sight to see. If there is an issue from either of them, then it could spell disaster. Nothing really much to say as we watch cars hunting down more cars at this late stage of the race. These two cars being hunted down a lot more than the others. So who knows what could happen. Jack Smart under risk from Josh Zerk. These two slowly but surely getting closer and closer and closer before the lap ends. Who knows what these two could get into. Two rookies. Chicken set to currently score worse than he did last race, which is not what the man in second in the championship needs. As these two cross the line, the fight at the front is slowly getting closer. I'm sure we'll eventually tab to that when it comes to a head. But these two still as close as ever. 4 to go. Is there going to be a mistake from Jack Smart is the question. Will we, either way, we'll see a debut P3 from either one of these two drivers. We're just waiting to see what happens. As there is a mistake there from Dottie. The guy ahead, Dottie, Jack Smart, Mr. Jack Smart, Mr. Dottie, making an unfortunate mistake. Hayden Lowe is now 11 laps down after he pits again. Real shame. The gap at the front still dwindling, 3 to go. Gagley could have just done enough for a final lap fight. As we do see the move, the dive bomb into the chicane. Is it going to be enough for Jack Smart to defend? It won't be. He's through. And he makes a mistake and they touch. So far, the podium is going the way of Josh Zerk in the first race of the season. In his first race of the season, huge snap of oversteer as Hayden Lowe needs to get out of the way of this fight here. If he knows what's right for him, but he's not out of the way enough. He's trying around the outside, not going to be done. It might be the switchback. Dotty, Jack, Dotty Smart getting through on his rival. Two laps left in the inaugural Scottish Grand Prix here. The Scottish E-Prix. There is contact as... Oh, there is huge contact! Two people pitting. Chicken choosing the pit lane. Those two pitting, but Zerk is dropping back down the order and will keep that P4, but unfortunately I think it will stay P4. That fight ending in a huge moment there, but the fight we're going to watch here is between Gagley and Thomas. Max and Thomas. Nothing really much to say, but how amazing this fight has been. Final lap of the event. Will it be Gagley for the first time in the championship? Will we see him be able to take the race win here? We've got one sector of the lap to go. Gagley could be the man to dethrone the man who's won the first three of the season. Rounding the last chicane for the final time, experiencing a small bit of lag. Across the start-finish straight, he's done it! Max Gagley becomes the first driver other than Thomas to win a race. Jack Dotty Smart coming in P3 to secure a debut podium. Popular win, I feel, for the Discord. Zerch is going to come across the line, defeated unfortunately, but in P4. P5 is going to be a podium sitter from last weekend. Mr. As Hayden Lowe has apparently finished the race. He will be classified as 7th due to the lapping issues we've had as we watch Gagley doing donuts. There you go. Chicken officially 6th, and officially in 7th is Hayden Lowe, scoring his first points of the season. We're watching Gagley do celebratory donuts. I feel this will be his thing continuing on in the season. Chicken joining him. What a moment for those two drivers. How brilliant was that race? So, at the end of that race, Gagley solidifies second in the standings. Will Johnson demanding gap push up to P4 ahead of Titan Shadow. Jack Smart enters ahead of Bartek. Bartek being pushed down to P8. Hayden Lowe picks up his first points of the season. But that is the end of the race. I assure you the results I've just spoken are the results of the race. But anyway, You've been the viewer, I've been the commentator. This has been